Hi folks, and welcome to another D French guitar lesson. What you heard there was a 1-6-2-5 chord progression in the key of C using walking bass lines. So what a walking bass line does is it combines your chord progression with the single bass notes. And this is becoming more popular today as clubs and other bars start to cut their budgets. They want to have fewer musicians and more music. So what a walking bass line does is it gives the guitar player an opportunity to play both the bass part and the harmony. And it makes you sound like more of a full band, and it gives the music some movement. So again, what I did here was I just walked down from the 1 to the 6 to the 2 to the 5, back up to the 1. So 1, 6, 5, 1. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use walking bass lines to go from one chord to the next at a beginner level. And we're going to use the acoustic on this just because it's more common with acoustic music. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this in the key of C. And we're just going to play a C major chord. And we're going to start with the low C bass note, or the root note. Remember, every chord has a root note, which is the name of the chord. So here's a C major. And we're going to start with the low C. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the bass note on the 1 and the 4 of our strumming pattern. So the 1 and the 4 are going to have the single bass notes, and the 2 and the 3 are going to play the chord. So it's going to sound like this. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. When you're doing this technique, it's real important to keep control over your strumming hand, or your right hand, depending on if you're right or left-handed, because you got to go from a full strum to finding that single bass note. So you don't want to go too far down with it, and you don't want to get too wild with your strumming pattern. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now we're going to do it with a chord change. We're going to go from a C major to an A minor to a G major to a C major. So it's C, A minor, G, C. And we're going to do the same thing for each chord change. We're going to keep the walking or the bass note on the 1 and the 4 of the strumming pattern. So we're going to start with the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. And then, as we go back to the beginning, as we turn it around, we're going to play the 5 bass note, which is a G. And all that means is we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th note of the C major scale is a G. We're going to play this low G in order to turn it around. It's called a turnaround. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and you go back to the beginning. Okay, so let's pick up the pace a little bit on that. 1. So that's the beginning level, that's the beginning look at this technique. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to walk down to each chord change. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk from a C to an A minor. Then we're going to walk up to this F, and we're going to play the half version, not the full chord F. We're going to play this half version of the F, and we're going to play our root note here, and then we go back to the C. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and on a 4 we're going to play the B, which is walking down to the A, 1, and then we're going to walk up to the E, to the F, bass line is 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, and I turn around on the G again. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to combine that with the chords. And the chords can be played on a 2 and a 3. And if you have any questions on counting and how rhythm works, you can find a lesson below that'll help you out with that. So we're going to start here with the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, let's try that at a little faster pace. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to go from a G major up to a C, but we're going to play an alternate version of that G. So instead of the traditional way, which is your second finger on the low root note, first finger here on the third, and then your third finger up here on the high G, we're going to flip it around and we're going to have our fourth finger play that high G, third finger on the low G, and then our second finger. And the reason we're going to do this is because we want to go from a G to a C major a little more seamlessly. Okay? And our bass line is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and as we strum that, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The nice thing about this, it's very efficient. So you're having very little movement in your fingers here. Everything's kind of right in place. You just have to find its spot. Okay, so again, we're going G. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go from a 1, 5, 1, 5. And that's very common in country music and in bluegrass and other American styles of music, where you're going to be playing the 1 to the 5. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. We're going to do this in the key of A. So in the key of A, our root note's here on the open 5th string, which is our A. And we're just going to alternate between the 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. So let's just do that for a second on the A. 1. Okay, do that for a second just to kind of get used to that rhythm. So you're playing 8th notes, and you're playing the bass on the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from the A to the D. We're going to do the alternate 1, 5, and then we're going to walk it up to that 4 chord. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, walk back down. And then you're going to walk it down to the 5 chord, which is an E. And since we can't get any lower than this low E, we're going to have to go up to the 5 here, which is your B. And walk it back up to that A. Okay, so let's do that again slowly. 1, 2, 3, walk it up, walk it down, and walk down to the 5 chord. So one more time, we're going from A, alternate, bass note, walk it up, D, A, D, walk it down, A, E, A, walk it down. So you've heard this in a lot of songs, for example, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Okay, but it's really used commonly in jazz, and in the next lesson we'll look at some different jazz techniques using fingerstyle and walking bass lines throughout some jazz chord changes. Hope you found this useful. Go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.